Hi, this is Astro Indicator Update, Excursions into Practical Astrology, Episode 4, and today is May 29th, 2019. And today, as usual, we're going to look at the Moon Void of Course calendar for next week, examine the short-term transits for the USA, give you some updates on the Dow Jones Industrials and the gold market. And in the news, we'll look at the EOS, which is a blockchain, an EOS announcement that is happening June 1st, and just give you an example of whether that announcement day is, a good day, an auspicious day for EOS. Moon Void of Course calendar. So I don't want to take don't want to take a lot of time with this, but this information isn't easily available for most people. But every 2.5 days, the moon transitions from one astrological sign to another. Every 2.5 days, and sometimes this transition takes just 10 minutes, and sometimes it can last a whole day. And in my own life and in other people's lives who track this, they find that it's valuable to know when this is happening, because when it does take place, and it takes place over a longer period of time, there is a shift in one's mood and one's psychology. And the key words that I use is there's a sense of disengagement, kind of a shift into neutral. And ideally, if you can just take a day off or rest or play or regroup, that's the best way to deal with a void of course moon time period. If you can't do that, if it happens in midweek, then doing something like more maintenance work, kind of things that aren't vital to your business, would be the place to put your focus. Other things I recommend is, avoid big decisions or important meetings. Try to reschedule them. Don't spend a lot of money. Don't buy that house or that car during a void of course moon. The classic example for something not to do is, don't get married during a void of course moon. So, it is good for creative activities, letting your imagination flow, but beyond that, it's sometimes difficult to get things done. Well, next week we have really just one major long void of course period, and that's Thursday. I did include here Monday, June 3rd, we have a new moon, and so sometimes on a kind of a minor level, that represents a good time to start things, start new projects. On Thursday, we do have a long void of course moon. I don't know what this 30 is. It's June 6th. This is a typo. It's June 6th from 7:10 a.m. in the morning to 12:16 p.m. So it's all morning. It's not all day, but it is a 5-hour void of course period. This is in Pacific Daylight Time, so you're going to have to convert it to your time zone. So anyway, that's what's happening next week. Not much in the way of void of course periods to watch out for. Okay, let's look at the U.S. astrology chart. Again, the U.S. chart is in the center here. The transits, where they're located, the planets are located in the sky, are in the outer ring. And you look at the relationship between the two. And I'm including this time because there's quite a few things. Like in my first video, you'll have to go back to my first video where I go back and where I cover some of the major transits that are taking place. And there's some very important ones: Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, and so forth. But on the short term, we have what I would consider kind of trigger transits that we need to pay attention to. And this is not in chronological order, but I did list them in the ones that I think were most important. And for example, on June 5th, we have Mars. Excuse my typos here. I did this kind of quickly. We have Mars conjunct Sun. Okay, look over here. Here we have Mars right there, and it is at 8 degrees Cancer. Well, here's the U.S. Sun at 13. On the 5th, they're going to be conjunct. And we have a lot of hot spots going on in the world right now with Iran and China and so forth. Well, hopefully the cooler heads will prevail during, the day before, the day after this conjunction. Excuse me, my voice is a little rumbly because I have hay fever right now. So anyway, mark your calendar. Something could get triggered then. I point this out, and I included this in this episode because we have Mercury conjunct Mars tomorrow, May 30th. Here's Mercury. It's traveling this way. It's going to be conjunct natal Mars in our chart. So over a period of about a week, we have a lot of Mars energy in the U.S. chart. And we have indications of possibly some big surprises or some shocks. We have the Sun is going to conjunct the natal Uranus. Here's the Sun. Here's the Uranus over here in this area. Sun, Uranus. And that happens today. And hopefully nothing huge will happen, but we have a number of fairly pointed transits taking place over a short period of time, where shocks or big surprises, heated exchanges could occur. Let's see. Even this moon, the transiting moon is, let's see, where's the transiting moon? The moon is going to, on May 31st, the moon is here. So just in a couple days, the moon is going to be conjunct the transiting Uranus. So there's a lot of Uranus, there's a lot of Mars energy happening in the U.S. chart, just over the next week is my point. So hopefully nothing horrible happens, and even in your own lives, I hope you kind of stay balanced. Excuse me again. So the Dow Jones Industrial Chart. This is the price chart. I've gone over this previously. All these vertical lines are related to the astrology of the Dow Jones Industrials. The horizontal lines are key support and resistance areas, as are the green lines. This is today, May 29th. We've had a drop in the market. See that little point right there where my cursor is? And this is pretty significant because this could be construed in technical analysis as a head and shoulders pattern. We just broke what is called a neckline support area. If this was a longer term chart, you would see 3 peaks. There's a peak previous to this, a peak there, here, here. So we have a triple top. All these things are at least pointing and signaling to lower prices. And many of the computer-run trading programs in the stock markets, they look at these things and they know that this is a pattern that often indicates lower prices. So you're going to have to watch for this. And just the last couple days, I've had this line right here is an astro indicator line pointing to a change in direction. Okay. And we're getting a change in direction down. Now the next line, which is not on this chart, is June 6th. Okay, and we may get a bounce, but the June 6th is a week away, and quite a bit can happen in 5-6 trading days. We may get a bounce on June 6th, but some major damage would already have been done in the technical picture of this chart. So just wanted to point out this Astro Energy Day, point out that June 6th is coming up, where possibly a bounce could occur. A quick look at gold. So this is the gold chart. I'm using GLD as a proxy. I draw my trend lines. These green lines are called trend lines. I've drawn them in a way that works for me and kind of tells me that this configuration is possibly more of a of a declining wedge pattern, which is actually bullish. And here it kind of failed on its breakout, and then it dropped back down. We have another breakout again, even though it's kind of trading a little bit on the soft side, that red candle that you see right there. It is still above this green trend line, and it's on what I consider a fairly strong astro energy line, which I've indicated here. So the next few days are fairly important. I think the next few days are, from the astrology side, are bullish. We'll just have to watch and see. But the fact that it's above that green line, and the fact when you compare it with what's going on in the Dow Jones Industrials, usually they trade in opposite directions. We could very well see higher prices in gold and silver as well. Okay, on to the news. This is kind of cryptocurrency news. EOS is one of the primary, among 4 or 5 primary blockchain tokens. And they have a big announcement coming up on June 1st. No one really knows what it's about. This article just saying that EOS's market cap is increasing, and now it's within the top. EOS spiked above $8 on Tuesday en route to a fresh 10-month high after blockchain network teased a big announcement in the coming days. In the process, the enterprise operating system, EOS, overtook Litecoin as the 5th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Well, no one really knows what the big announcement's going to be, but let's look at the astrology on it here in a second. A little bit more information on EOS. China every year ranks the various blockchain networks in terms of their criteria are technology, application, and innovation. You see it here. And the top 5 were EOS, Tron, Ether, Steam, and Ontology. But EOS has been in the number 1 position for, I think, at least 2 years. So, but here is the chart. Transits for June 1st relative to the EOS chart, which was their main net launch date, which was about a year ago, and it is in the inner ring here. So is this a good day? That's the point. Is this a good day astrologically for them to make the announcement? Well, generally speaking, it's not a bad day. It's okay, and I'm going to say it's okay because of these things. Here in the outer ring, we have Mercury is conjunct the Sun of the sort of the starting date of EOS. It's conjunct the Sun and the Moon. Mercury deals with news. It deals with communication, announcements. So here we do the core identity of EOS is announcing something. So that's pretty beneficial. In addition, we have Jupiter opposite the Sun. Here's the Sun. Here we have Jupiter transiting in the outer ring. Again, this is a favorable position. It should bring, very positive attention to EOS because it was announced at this time. If they announce mid-morning on June 1st, then they'll have the Moon conjunct Venus, which would be a positive. Very positive in terms of their financial status and how people emotionally, feel attracted to them. So I would recommend, announcing whatever they're announcing mid-morning, and not later. Over here, I've kind of lost my cursor in the color, but this last point, the moon is going void of course at around 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on June 1st. You don't want to make an announcement after 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That would not be helpful. A couple other things that are going on is that EOS is going through a long-term Saturn transit to their descendant. Here it is over here. And I could see this from the get-go a year ago when they announced just shortly thereafter there was a lot of kind of hitches in the governance and organization of EOS, and they've ironed it all out, but it got out of the gate kind of slowly. And that didn't surprise me because Saturn transit shortly thereafter was strong in the chart. Another sort of downside is that with this announcement on June 1st, Mars is in the 12th house. And so some of the initiative, some of the energy, some of the promotional, impact is could be kind of diluted in a way, at least for, a couple weeks, and then it'll get traction. That's my guess, because this isn't the best place. Mars deals with promotion, advertising, initiating a new project. But there is a trade-off here. If you would have waited 2 weeks, then the Jupiter energy wouldn't have been so strong. So overall, this is a positive day. However, my guess is that it may not really show up in the price chart of EOS or in its receptivity and understanding of its impact for a couple weeks afterwards. And finally here, I've just got a price of EOS, and it's been, like many cryptocurrencies, it's been booming. I mean, this is, we go back to at the first of the year, it was trading at $2, and now it's trading at $8. And so much of this move may just be because many of the cryptocurrencies are in rally mode. It could be the announcement. After the announcement, we may get a pullback. It happens very often. These blue lines, if it stays over, if it stays over 650, this rally bullish chart is still intact. So we'll watch this, but it's definitely having a good several months. So that's about it for this episode. Again, my name is Stephen. I have a background in art, master's degree in psychology. I've been studying astrology for many years. For a short stint, I did it professionally. I have applied astrology to the financial markets for 25 years. And I am essentially, when it comes to economics, I'm a hard money and a cryptocurrency proponent. So hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe. I do accept Bitcoin donations, and I hope to speak to you in about a week or so. Thanks again. Bye for now.